This is how we generated 46 interested leads in 3 days with cold email. So I just want to break down how we did this, why this campaign performed, and then how you can pull principles from this campaign in your outbound. And so to start, one of the main reasons this performed very decently, that 46 interest leads in 3 days is decently high metrics, is because we sent high volume. And so we sent 17,000 emails. We started on Sunday, which actually did very well. I think we did 22 interest leads on Sunday. And then Monday and then yesterday were 5,000. Both we just lowered the volume for like deliverability reasons, just making sure that we're all good. And I want to show this here that without including our replies, we were only at a 0.9% reply rate, which is relatively low. We used Microsoft infrastructure for this, which averages a lower reply rate. So instead of getting like one domain and making 3 inboxes, we get one domain, we make 99 inboxes, and we send low volume from them. Really technical, but we just use Microsoft infrastructure, which usually gets lower reply rates, but we can still generate a ton of interested leads because we can send high volume from it. And so it doesn't actually even cost that much to send like 5,000 emails a day. And so even though, yeah, you generate a ton of leads just because you spammed a ton of people, it's like, well, you're able to do that. If you have a large target addressable market, you can just send high volume for maybe a couple hundred extra bucks a month. It's really not too bad. Like you could send 10,000 emails a day for like probably a grand a month, maybe even less if you have some good connections. So that's the first thing. Was just high volume was great, and then the second thing was offer. I mean the KPIs. What let's do this for here. 1,200 contacted, 46 interested leads. So that's one lead per 263 contacted, which is actually pretty good metrics. And you can see that we're getting quite good results in the first email and also quite good results in the second email. And so I'll show you how we did that if we dive into the scripts. So it's very simple what we ran. It's free until you get result script, which is always going to rip way harder. And then you can like sort of reframe that once you get on the call and add like, I mean, you don't want to be dishonest with your email, but you can make it so it's like only a tech stack or something like that, or it's a small trial and then they start paying, or a part of the service is free and then you can add on upsells as well on the call, so you can still collect cash on the first call. And the script is super simple. We added a niche offer in Rich. So this was like different types of contractor companies. Some were plumbers, some were remodelers, some were construction. So we just filtered that so we knew exactly what type of person they were. And so I don't know if we're actually able to preview it. Here, let's try pausing it, clicking on it, and then we should be able to preview what it looks like. So it'll say something like general contracting inquiry, or for a different lead, it'll say kitchen remodeling inquiry. I said, hey, would you be open to trying out integration we built for, and then that niche offer companies to get them a few more jobs per month, and then my name, PS is free until you get results. Such a simple script. When people see this, like, oh, what? I could just go run this and I'll get a ton of leads. Kind of, but not completely. Like it's not always just that simple. You need to manage your infrastructure properly. You need to be able to pull leads with the right intent, and then be able to enrich. And no, like you could run a script that looks exactly like this with different words, like a similar looking one liner, and it could perform horribly just because you don't have that strong risk reversal, or because you don't have a good like relevancy enrichment, or maybe the type of businesses that you reach out to don't want more jobs, but they want more referrals, or they want more clients, like whatever it is, right? And so those small differences actually make a huge difference in the outcome from the inputs to the outputs. And then the second follow up, which got 10 interest leads from I think what, like 5,000 cent. So what was it 6,000 cent, 10 interested leads? Okay, one lead for like 600 cent. Not too bad for a follow up. It was just, we can get it here, could I give you a call? So by the way, if you don't aren't familiar with this, it's called spin tax. So it's what we do for deliverability to make it so every email doesn't look the same. We put them into these double curly brackets and then add spacers in between. So it's going to pick one of these words at random. So it's like, should I give you a call, or could I just call you? Something like that. Very simple. It's a reply to the first email. So they're getting it and they're seeing in their inbox, should I just call you? And a lot of them are just like, yeah, sure. And then you warm call them. And that's the big thing with this, is to convert these leads, because these are contractors, you almost need to put them through the phone call. And so a lot of people with cold email, to try to go from cold email to interested lead to booked like Google Meet or Zoom call, which for contractors is just not the right way to look about the funnel. The better way to look at it, let me put myself right back here, is cold email, interested lead, phone call, Zoom meeting, or Google Meet. That difference from the 3 step to the 4 step will like it can literally 5x the amount of like deals you close, call book, whatever. Like this, the full output of the campaign from um, amount of like emails you send or amount of interested leads you have to amount of closed deals. It's huge because these guys live on the phone. They're always doing phone calls. Whereas Google Meets, they never want to do it, and so you need to have a soft entry into the phone call. And then what I was doing for this one is because we were doing like a $97 a month like software fee before putting them onto the Google Meet, just say, hey, it costs $97 a month, by the way, and just pre-qualify them in that way because a lot of these guys are like I don't want to say flaky, but they don't want to commit too much, right? And so if you give them um, something a reason to not commit, then you can filter a lot of people that are just never gonna buy on the sales call. So if you say, hey, 97 bucks a month, by the way, if someone says no, I don't want to hop on the sales call because it's 97 bucks a month, you were never gonna close them in the first place. Like that's not a large investment. Whereas the people say, yeah, sure, okay, let me look into it. They're gonna have a way higher percentage of closing them, also way higher percentage of them showing to the call, and it's just gonna be more quality calls. And so if you're charging like maybe 5 grand a month or something like that, maybe you don't want to say the price up front, but you could say, hey, we charge a minimum of a couple $100, or we charge a minimum of a couple $1,000. Um, that's a little high, but you could say that we do charge an upfront investment, something like that, right? Just to make sure that you're talking to people that are actually like going to buy. You could also ask them about how many jobs they get per month to try to gauge how much revenue they're making to make sure that they're qualified. So the phone call is good for pre-qualification, for warming up the lead, and also just converting them. Like it's way easier. So when you get an interested lead, you can just say, "Hey, by the way, I think I was emailing you, or my assistant was emailing you this morning about this offer, whatever it is. Does that ring a bell?" Like, oh, sure. I'm like, okay, great. What made you interested in this? And then they talk about like why they need the thing. They kind of sell themselves, and they're great. Okay, I'd love to show you how we could do this for you. Are you available now? Sometimes you can literally just hop on the sales call right now if you have the same person calling them to taking the Google Meets or the Zoom calls. Otherwise, you can be like, okay, great. Are you available later today or tomorrow? You don't want to book too far in advance, especially when it's manually booking. And for these guys, for contractors, local businesses, it's a lot harder to get them to show on calls, a lot harder to get them to book Google Meet. So you want to maximize those as much as possible by doing them very, very close to when you actually phone call. So yeah, those are the main things. I think it was the offer, getting a couple more jobs per month. It's such a common offer, and so we kind of added a unique selling proposition. So the offer, get a few more jobs per month, lead gen. Like they're always going to need that. They always need lead gen, but framing it in a way where it sounds different to other people and it sounds like an actual opportunity really sets yourself apart because like almost every person I talk to is like, yeah, I get so many of these emails, but I just want to give you a shot. Yeah, you sounded different. Yeah, I get so many of these emails. Like there's unlimited people in their inbox, probably like multiple people every single day that they're just filtering through and just not even looking at. And so being able to stand out even just a little bit puts you ahead of so many people. Like it really, really puts you ahead. And if you look like the other people, and that might just be the difference of a couple words, you could literally like make your results drop by half or a quarter or even less. So yeah, unique selling proposition is huge for people who are getting where there's a lot of competition in their inbox. So if they're getting a lot of emails, having a unique selling proposition, a reason that you're different is super great. Having a strong offer, just a good outcome that you can get them is always needed because if you don't need the outcome, there's no reason they're going to work for you or work with you. Then a good risk reversal. We did free until you get results. We're testing other things as well. You don't need to do it that strong, but a nice guarantee or performance basis or soft entry is really good. And then a call to action that's built for the right demographic. So for these guys, it's a could like if we did a call to action for this one, I think it was just like would you be open to testing it out, right? So we didn't even do like a specific like well, would you be open for a call or whatever. But in the follow up, should I just give you a phone call? That is the right call to action for this market. Some people are going to be better just going straight to Google Meet. They don't want to do a phone call, maybe if they're a higher employee count or they're working like a corporate job. Some people might want some more info first and be like, hey, can I send you a demo of how we do this? Could I shoot you over Loom video, that was a strategy that's working. We haven't tested that too much, but making your call to action built for the market that you're targeting is huge. And so for local businesses, if you're targeting these guys, phone call to action is like essential. You're not really going to get results any other way. And then lastly, high volume, buy more infrastructure. What we do for infrastructure to mitigate like bad deliverability is we always have twice as much infrastructure as we need for the daily sending volume. So if we're sending 5,000 emails a day, we'll get 10,000 emails a day of infrastructure. We'll send with half of it. Half of it we'll keep in warm up, and then every 2 to 4 weeks we'll batch rotate it and send with the other batch, and the other one will stay warming up. That's how we mitigate deliverability risk. And then whenever we have underperforming infrastructure, we have like a whole tool to manage like all of our thousands of inboxes, and that tracks reply rate from the domain and inbox level rather than just total campaign reply rate that's aggregated across all domains. When we have underperforming domains, we swap them out with new infrastructure. We just cancel them and then buy new infrastructure. And then we can swap out the current sending with our reserve batch. So we'll have like a current sending, maybe some of them underperform. We'll swap in the reserve batch, and then we'll purchase new infrastructure and put that back into reserve. So we always have twice the daily sending volume that we need, and we always have performing infrastructure and backup if there's a big band wave or something horrible happens. I have another video on that. It's probably like a couple videos back from this one. If you just look at my channel on how we manage thousands of inboxes. And other than that, I mean, if you need your cold email like ran for you, want help with your cold email campaigns, there should be like a booking link in the description. We do done for you cold email or consulting sometimes like done with you. And then if you just want like some free leads, we have like 500 free leads we can just give you. That's down below as well. Mapsdata.ai. It's like our lead scraper. That's actually where this list was scraped from. Super cool tool, and subscribe.